Tonight we're gonna make something really simple, a real classic. Meatballs. Now everybody's mother makes the best meatballs. I'm telling you, you're all wrong. My mother-in-law makes the best meatballs. I don't even make meatballs anymore because hers are so good. However, I just want to show you what mine are like. I'm sure you'll like them because it is. It's a very good meatball. And I'm gonna dedicate this one to my buddy Mike Andriozzi, Meatball Mike, right? So anyway, I feel like making some pasta and meatballs tonight. So what I did was I got the salted water here on the stove boiling. I took my marinara sauce that I made last weekend, a big vat of it, took a quart of it out of the freezer, got it on the stove here on low heat while that's getting hot. Got my oven getting nice and hot over here again. And here are the ingredients so you don't mess it up. Need a couple of eggs. We need raisins and pine nuts. That's right, I said raisins and pine nuts. This is my meatball, not yours, okay? And it's not my mother-in-law's. They're not as good as my mother-in-law's, but these are good. I need parsley. I like fresh, flat Italian parsley. I can't use it for this because I can't get out to the market and get any. Whoa. Got my liquid gold, just a little bit. Here, the liquid gold, you know, is my garlic oil. I am going to show you how to do that on the new YouTube channel that I'm setting up. We need Romano cheese, kosher salt, pepper. I use whole milk ricotta cheese. I usually like to use Supreme or something like that. A good one, get a good one. Ricotta cheese, whole milk ricotta cheese. I use a little bit of breadcrumbs also, plain breadcrumbs. Plain. And I take a loaf of Italian bread. I've got it soaked in water so it's nice and soft. We're going to add some of this to the meatballs. Now, in the meat mixture, you can use a mixture of pork and ground beef. A lot of people like to use something different. Some of the local markets, like Garden Hills Deli, they got a great meatball mix there that you can buy, and it's pork and beef together. I'm doing a little bit of a healthier version here. This is using 90% meat, only 10% fat in this here. So that's why I'm using a little bit of the liquid gold that I'm going to add to it because it's low fat. And we're going to cook them and show you what to do. They're going to be delicious and they're going to be simple and quick. Be right back. Okay, folks, here we are. We've got the meat here. I'm going to take some of this bread. I've had it soaking now. I'm going to squeeze out some of the water. I've got a lot of it out. I'm just going to take this bread. I'm going to add it to my meatball mix. And if you notice, I'm just grinding it up in my hands here. This gives the meatballs some nice soft consistency, okay? You can put a little bit more, a little bit less. It all depends. The more you got in there, the softer the meatball tends to be here. So that's the first ingredient. You gotta have the bread in there. Use a good Italian bread and one that's kind of a little bit more softer than some of the hotter ones there is what I think is best. Okay, so I'm adding this into my mix, and if I need more, I'll add more. You saw that was about a half a loaf of bread I had there of Italian bread. We got that in, okay? Give a quick rinse here. Okay. Very simple ingredients that we're using. I'm gonna add some ricotta cheese. You see that? A couple of those for now. That's all I'm gonna use, okay? We're gonna crack a couple of eggs in this here. I used the whole egg, I don't use just the yolk, okay? I'm gonna put some salt. I use kosher salt, again. Why do I use kosher salt? I told you before, I don't know. Because I want to use kosher, I like it. Salt, pepper. I'm going to use some parsley in here. Again, I wish I had the fresh, but there's a pandemic out there, you can't get outside. I've got the breadcrumbs so I can add a little bit more if I want to. I'm adding about a teaspoon of the liquid gold here, which is the garlic oil. I don't like a lot of garlic in my meatballs. Shouldn't taste garlic in your meatballs. Should have a nice flavor. Oh, we're not gonna add this yet. I don't need this yet. We got everything. butter cheese. Got everything in here now, we're gonna mix it with our hands. You don't use a spoon, you use your hands. You don't put gloves on because you gotta make sure that you can feel the consistency. You wash your hands before and after. Very simple. Now, because this has got the cheese in it and everything, and the bread, it's going to be a nice moist consistency here. You can see what's happening, okay? And you just want to mix that all in good. And I'm going to show you a couple of tricks of what to do here to cook these babies. All right, we'll be back. Okay, we're gonna start making these meatballs now, and I'm going to make half of them without the raisins and pine nuts, because in my house the kids don't always like the pine nuts and raisins. If you've never had it with pine nuts and raisins, you have to try this. It's fantastic. Your mother or your grandmother may have made them that way. I know my mom used to make them with raisins. Absolutely loved it. Now, some of you are gonna say you caught me telling you I didn't put the cheese in. I put the cheese in, about a half a cup of Romano cheese. I didn't use any breadcrumb. Why? Because it's my recipe and I can do whatever I want. That's why. Okay, so now here we go. I use an ice cream scoop. You can use any size you want. This gives you, them all coming out the same size. I layer a pan with some parchment paper so they cook evenly and quickly. You don't have to do this. Just a little trick there, okay? They don't have to be perfectly round, all right? The ice cream scoop gives you the same size on all of them. And if they're at one speed, you can roll them by hand. I like doing them with the ice cream scoop. I think they come out nice. Again, you get the same size, throw them on there. Okay, so we rolled all of the meatballs. I made some plain, and I've got 8 more here that I made with the pine nuts and raisins that I put in. This was about 2 pounds of meat here, and you're making about 28 meatballs, 25 to 30 meatballs, depending on the size. I always count them. I always put them the same amount in each row, because this way you can always tell if somebody stole one. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in the oven. They're gonna go in for about 15 minutes. Oh, looky, 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 what do I have here? Got some bread cooking, got that bread going, nice and hot. My oven set at 550 all the way up, and it's on a convection oven. I'm gonna go boil the pasta. I'm gonna make a little something, a little spread I'll show you that we do at Antonio's restaurant, which is delicious. And then we're gonna sit down and eat. We'll be right back. We're back and we're ready to eat. Everything's all done. First thing we're gonna need is, I did a couple of things here that I'm gonna add. I've got some Lagotto cheese here. I added some organic olive oil, virgin olive oil. I put some salt, some pepper, and some crushed red pepper on this here, and I'm just gonna spread this on my bread that I took out of the oven to go along with my pasta and meatballs. And we've got some crackers in there, olive oil crackers there. And we're ready here. The meatballs came out of the oven. They were in there for about 15 minutes, a little bit more. We've got the meatballs with the raisins and pine nuts. I'm just taking them out. They come right off of that parchment paper. Putting them around my pasta. Chloe, you're not getting any tonight, okay? I've got taken these here off. You notice, look at that, how nice and moist that these things are. I put them around my dish here, little pasta in the middle. I do not cook my meatballs in the sauce. Some people like to do that. I don't. I prefer not to. Let's put our sauce over these meatballs and pasta. I made some fresh. I did not make the pasta. I bought fresh pasta. Tagliatelle tonight. Instead of spaghetti, I'm going to put some of my sauce on here. The dog is going nuts right now. She's trying to come in and clean up the floor. Okay, here it is. We're all ready to eat. We're gonna add a little grated cheese here. We're gonna finish this here with a little garnish. I said quiet, Chloe. Little fresh basil on top. Here's our pasta and meatballs, okay? When you sit down to eat a meal like this, hug and love the kids in your family that you love. Good night and enjoy.